Hello everyone, welcome to another captivating episode of Keeping It Real by Housing.com. Today, we are delving deep into the latest insights provided by PropTiger.com, offering a fascinating glimpse into the current state of India's residential real estate markets. The first quarter of 2024 has seen an extraordinary surge, with double-digit growth in demand across the top 8 cities and an outstanding 41% year-on-year increase in residential sales. It's an unprecedented moment, signaling immense potential for exploration in this thriving sector. What makes this narrative even more compelling is the significant role played by South India, contributing nearly a quarter of the total units sold across these cities, with 35% of gross transaction value coming from this part of the country alone. Joining us on this enlightening journey is a true authority in the field, Ms. Ankita Sood, Head of Research at Housing.com and PropTiger.com. With a wealth of knowledge and insights, we are poised to unravel the complexities of South India's real estate landscape. Together, let's uncover the trends, challenges, and opportunities that define the residential market in this vibrant region. Let's jump right in. Hello and a warm welcome, Ankita. Delighted to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me once again, Gaurav. Thank you.
Ankita, let's do a deep dive on the southern market and, on the basis of the latest PropTiger.com report of the first quarter. And there's some very interesting trends. The property markets, as the data suggests, in India's top 8 cities have experienced very impressive double-digit growth in demand during Jan to March this quarter, compared, of course, to the same period last year. Now, if you turn the lens on the southern markets such as Hyderabad, Bengaluru and Chennai, and these are the 3 biggest markets in that region, have particularly stood out with remarkable increases in year-on-year sales. Now, among these, Hyderabad, for instance, has emerged as the front runner in terms of gross transactions value, or what is called as GTV. What do you think is driving this? What are the key factors that is driving this surge in demand, and how do you envision the future trajectory of demand in these markets, Ankita?
Yeah, so Gaurav, in the first quarter of 2024, we saw an altogether 41% increase in sales when I talk of the top 8 cities. Now, within that, definitely, something to focus on is the southern markets. Of course, Mumbai and Pune are always the front runners, but the markets that we see which are emerging are, the southern markets, and specifically Hyderabad. The southern markets are thriving, and Hyderabad in particular has experienced a remarkable growth trajectory over the past decade, be it for residential, commercial offtake, or the altogether overall living, index of the city, which is put it at par to the cities such as Bangalore, Gurgaon. So Bangalore has been shining, and, both in terms of sales and new launches, we've seen that Bangalore and Hyderabad have grown phenomenally post the pandemic. Now, this can be attributed to the growing IT sector, of course. There's also political stability and a pro-business mindset that we have in these cities, which is attracting a significant influx of workforce and consequently is boosting the residential market. Now, Hyderabad in particular, generally offers lower price points compared to Bangalore, and so it remains an attractive option for investors. However, it's worth noting that there are specific areas and neighborhoods in Hyderabad as well, where real estate prices have even surpassed that of Bangalore. For instance, Whitefield and Electronic City in Bangalore have comparable real estate prices to the IT hubs of Gachibowli and Madhapur in Hyderabad. Now, Hyderabad also, I would like to point out here, has emerged as the third most expensive property market, following Mumbai, Gurgaon, amongst the top 8 cities. Now, this is absolutely underscoring the investor interest, the end user interest, the overall economic positivity about Hyderabad. Given all these indicators, we definitely expect this upward trajectory to continue. especially in the IT hub of, the southern markets like Hyderabad and Bangalore, like we're talking about. And, Hyderabad in specific, on the back of, end user demand, because the price points are still very competitive, and it's taking a significant share of the commercial, offtake or commercial leasing also of Bangalore. So yes, Hyderabad is some market that is to watch out for.
Absolutely. And, Ankita, very well explained and articulated in detail. It's also evident now that, going by the data of the PropTiger.com report, is that new home launches, especially those on a slightly higher price point, those in the higher price brackets, have become a prominent trend over the past few years, essentially meaning that people's affordability could have gone up, or people are willing to get into the more premium kind of property spaces, both in terms of launches and sales. However, recent observations indicate a downward trend in new home launches. Is there something that we need to read into this, Ankita? How do you interpret this amidst what seems like an otherwise very buoyant market environment, Ankita?
So definitely, Gaurav, I'd like to answer the second part of your question first, that do we need to read too much into the dip that has happened? Absolutely not. This is, you can see this as a pent-up supply, which has been coming in the past few quarters. We've consistently seen 1 lakh units introduced in the second quarter of 2022 as well. So this is just a sequential decline, and not much should be read into this. We know that many prominent developers have a very robust pipeline for the upcoming quarters. So definitely not much to read into this. Coming on to the higher price bracket or the premium segment. Now, there has been a discernible shift into that segment post the pandemic. The higher priced homes in March quarter, both sales and launches in this category that's above 1 crore and above, have seen a significant uptick. First, where new supply was in the range of 29%, it's grown to 36%. Whereas in terms of sales, where the above 1 crore category was only, in Q1 of 23 was 24%. It's gone up to 37%. And now if I go back from Q1 of 22, this has further grown from a 16% share. So you see the amount of constant sequential growth that we are seeing in this segment. A variety of reasons obviously are coming. The demand is for larger homes. We've seen that post the pandemic. Rise in disposable income post-pandemic, definitely there, and a move towards discretionary spending. So home is just not something, to live for. It's something perceived as a long-term wealth building tool as well. And also, people are commanding and demanding the luxuries, the facilities, amenities that they would want to have, and all comes at a cost. And hence we see that the supply side is also matching the demand. They are offering, state-of-the-art infrastructure, as, they highlight in their collaterals, clubhouses, amenities, facilities. Now, all that has pushed the price bracket up. And that's why we see that the above 1 crore price bracket, both in terms of new supply and sales, have seen a significant uptick.
Ankita, that's very wonderfully articulated, particularly on why there is a surge in the demand for premium and luxury real estate in the residential space. But let's change tack a bit and, let's talk about elections. And the world's biggest election exercise is currently underway in India. And there is anticipation whether after the elections, the real estate industry is going to get a further boost, both in terms of demand and also the industry in general, the broader industry in general, because it probably could ride on the bullishness of the broader economy. Could you provide insights into the potential resurgence of demand, particularly in the key localities across Hyderabad, Bengaluru and Chennai, in the southern market. And adding to that, of course, is do you see some emergence of tier 2 markets in South India, and what are the prospects of these new tier 2 markets, if you see any of those in South India?
Yes, so you kind of answered that question, Gaurav. Of course, during election season, there is usually a surge in public expenditure, and there are promises for economic change. All this leads to heightened consumer optimism and expenditure. Now, of course, with a stable government, favorable policies, the investment climate becomes upbeat, particularly in the real estate domain. So all the stakeholders, including, be it the buy side or the sell side. So definitely in elections have that impact on the property market. Now, to capture this positive outlook, developers also introduce new ventures, they present enticing offers, etc., to cash on this optimism. Now, this sentiment extends across all cities, including the southern cities also. In terms of micro markets, we see that sustained demand in key areas such as Hyderabad, the west, that's Patancheru, Usman Nagar, Kolur, Bangalore East, OMR. All of these areas are something to watch out for. In terms of the tier 2 cities that you asked in specific, now the tier 2 markets, southern tier 2 markets, Kochi, Coimbatore. Now, these two cities, with the infrastructure boost specifically in Kochi, they are witnessing a significant home buyer uptick. That's also witnessed in our property buy index that tracks the property sentiment across these cities, across 42 cities. So in that, Kochi and Coimbatore are witnessing a heightened home buyer interest over the past few quarters. Now, Kochi's status as being the business hub, coupled with, like I already said, good infrastructure, positions it as a very prominent city down south, though it's tier 2. But, it's one of the economic centers. Coimbatore also has emerged as a senior living destination. It's attracting considerable attention from investors, specifically NRIs. They are purchasing villas and plots. So more traction is happening on this segment. So yes, elections definitely will have a positive spin-off on the property market as well. It goes with the positive sentiment narrative that's running across the country, across all the promises. And in terms of the tier 2 cities, just to recap, Kochi and Coimbatore down south, these two cities are going to be on our radar also in the coming quarters.
Absolutely, Ankita. It's wonderful always talking to you. Thank you so much for sharing your deep insights and perspective and taking the time out and dropping by to have this conversation with us.
Thank you, Gaurav. Always a pleasure.
That's it from us for this episode. We shall be back again with a fresh episode of Keeping It Real by Housing.com with information and insights on the real estate industry. Whether you are a pro or a beginner, we're here to keep you informed and entertained in the world of Indian real estate. This is Keeping It Real by Housing.com, where we keep it real always. You can catch the episode on Housing.com on the Housing.com app, the YouTube channel of Housing.com, on earshot.in, Spotify.com, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Ghana.com, Jio7, and a host of other streaming platforms. Take care and stay safe.